Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is Liz Loves Books. Today let's talk about the worst books of 2025. So we're gonna keep this video short and sweet because I don't like to talk about my worst books and I don't want to feel like I'm bashing authors or writing. So we're gonna make this a short and sweet video. We're gonna start with my 2.5 star reads. I only had 3 of them, which is pretty darn good. So our first one is In Bloom by Paul Tremblay. This is actually a short story that was part of one of the Amazon Original Stories collections, and I just didn't like the concept of the story and the horror that was used within it. So that was a little bit more of a personal preference. The writing wasn't bad or anything like that, just the concept did not mesh with me. And then we have The House Across the Lake by Riley Sager. It's so funny that I gave this 2.5 stars because when it came out, everyone was really pumped for it and then really disappointed by it. I read it for a book club that I was in. I've never read Riley Sager before. Don't know if I will read Riley Sager again. Again, the writing was fine. It was just the characters. Our main character was just really annoying and I didn't like any of the characters. I didn't connect to any of them. They were just very surface level and I want characters that have depth and meaning to them. And then my third book that I gave 2.5 stars was She Is a Haunting by Trang Tan Tran. This is a YA horror book, and I had put this off for so long, and I finally read it for a readathon, and I was so disappointed by this book. It took me so long to read it when it was only like 320 pages. It took me over a week to read this book. And in reality, I should have DNF'd it, but I didn't, and that's in the past. But the concept of it I loved. But the horror itself was really confusing because it was in multiple time periods and I didn't know what was happening when. And I was just confused throughout the whole thing. And you don't want to be confused when you're reading a book. So that's why I had a 2.5. And then we're moving on to the 2 stars. I had 6 2 stars this year, which is sad. But I didn't have anything below that. So that's also good. First book I gave 2 stars was early on in the year, and that was The Half King by Melissa Landers. This is a book 1 in a fantasy romance series. I finished it. I should have DNF'd it. The writing wasn't good. The concept was interesting, but it's like the author wouldn't follow through on certain plots and dynamics of characters. It's like you go from one thing and then they just skip over it and move to the next thing. Or they'd bring up one thing one time and then not resolve it later on. And I thought this was a standalone at first because of the way that it like was going, and then right at the end it's like, just kidding, this person just came back, and I'm like, no, you can't be doing it. So that was a really disappointing book. I've blocked it out of my brain. So then the next 2 star was Shamrock Kisses by Serena Peer. This was a Kindle Unlimited like novella romance book that I read, and I was looking for like something around St. Patrick's Day to read, and this was a St. Patrick's Day themed book, and it took place where I live. So I thought that would just be a fun time. And ooh, the writing, this is really, really bad. It's really bad. And it's just like smut, which that's fine. Like, I read that. That's totally fine for me. But it wasn't like good. So, yep, this one was not it. That's the risk you run sometimes with Kindle Unlimited, though. You never know what you're going to get, so. Then the third book I gave 2 stars was Reckless Girls by Rachel Hawkins. I listened to this on audio. I was so bored. I wasn't invested in the characters. I wasn't invested in the plot. The mystery, I was just like, whatever. I guessed everything. It was just uneventful. And then the last 3 books, which is so funny, I gave 2 stars, are all Frida McFadden books. And I am on a journey of trying to read all of her backlist. And it's so funny because I read like 7 books by Frida last year, all on audio. 3 of them are my 2 stars. And then all the other ones I gave like 4 stars. So I guess I either love or hate a Frida book. The 3 books that I gave 2 stars was The Housemaid's Wedding. This is a novella in the Housemaid series. It wasn't necessary. It was a cash grab. It was stupid. Done. Then we have One by One, and this was obviously a play on the Agatha Christie one by one trope, which is always really fun to read in books. The characters were awful. I hated all of them. They tried to make the main character redeemable. She was crappy. Didn't like her. All the characters were just so stupid, and they made the stupidest decisions you'll ever see. And like, one by one. You know, there's people that are offed consistently. The first person that was like dying, they were so rude to her while she was like on her way out of this world. And I was like, she's your friend. What are you doing? Like, only our main character wanted to like stay and help her. And everyone else was like, nope, gotta leave her in the forest. Bye. And I'm like, no, can't. I can't. I love a rude character, but not in that way. And then finally we have Death Row by Freida McFadden. This is a short story by her, another Amazon original. And I really liked the concept at first. But the ending was so dumb. And I was so upset because I really liked it. I would have given it like a 3.54 stars if the ending wasn't the ending. It was so silly. I mean, it's not that long, so like if you want to read it, go ahead, but it was a 2-star and I didn't like it. So yeah. All right, those are the worst books of 2025 that I read. I think that's pretty good. I'm going to try to, in 2026, if they're starting to feel like below a 3.5, I'm going to try to DNF. 3 stars you could convince me to still read, but I don't really want any 2 or 2.5 stars in my reads in 2026. And I mean, I guess I'm already like doing pretty well in that because I've already DNF'd my first book of the year, which was an e-arc, and I was going to be like probably a 3-star, maybe a 2.5. So I DNF'd it. So I mean, I'm already moving swiftly on with my goal in 2026 of not reading bad books. So let me know in the comments below what was your worst book of 2025, and I will see you in another video soon. Bye guys.